Welcome back, everybody, to round 2 of Tuesday Night Modern. We got a treat for you tonight. We got some Lantern v Control. I don't know if any of you were yearning for this matchup, but you got it. So grab a seat, get comfortable, grab your favorite beverage, relax, and enjoy the show.
I'll be surprised. With you as the executive producer, I'm surprised this match is on the screen right now.
The match is on the screen because I like watching Victor Kurz squirm. Like
Yeah.
that appeals to me.
Okay.
And we're not going to have a backup match, so might as well take the whole 15 minutes here.
Let's spend them all. So, the key card for this Lantern deck is... Is that better?
No, but go on. Key card in this Lantern deck.
Is Ensnaring Bridge, correct?
I mean, I don't know that it is here. You're thinking long and hard about this.
All right. I have no idea what's going on. Then I'm unclear as to how either deck wins the matchup.
Benji Cards claims the mic is on fire. It's just because I spit hot fire. But no, if we're very loud or very sensitive, let us know so we can adjust that.
Testing. Is it too loud right now?
I don't know. We're gonna get some feedback from the chat here in a minute, and then we'll know.
You seem good in my headphones. How do I feel in yours?
I mean, it's okay.
Am I getting in your head a little bit?
Not really. I mean, when you first sat down, you were. Benji says there is rustling. Is there still rustling?
No, that was me settling into my chair. I apologize.
So Taylor wasn't here at the start of the match.
I was
because
using the restroom.
His bladder is the size of a peanut.
I have a very small baby bird bladder.
And he has to pee before every single match. But yeah, we should be settled now.
Settled in.
I'm trying to regulate the volume and pitch of my voice in such a way that it's not overwhelming. My partner is not. He is
Is my voice that? Should I speak? Welcome to Tuesday Night Modern.
Welcome to Tuesday Night Modern.
My name is Taylor Gunn. We've got some smooth Jeskai control for you tonight.
That's a smooth shuffling technique that Victor Kurz is using there.
Victor has a nice,
very groovy,
very nice smooth overhand. For a man with small hands, he really can shuffle really politely.
I don't know what small hands have to do with being polite, but...
Well, I'm just saying you don't have as much room to grip the cards with. I'm also Victor and I have very similar tastes in cards. I don't quite have the budget he does to fill out my decks. I've had to sell my collection a couple times, but original fetch lands, huge on those. He's got the full art electrolyzes, beautiful cards. And the namesake card hits the board for Eddie Sturgill. Lantern of Insight, you play the top card of the library revealed, and then you can tap the Lantern to mill the top card of both libraries.
That is correct. I don't know that Eddie wants Victor to have this Ancestral.
Well, it's in his hand. It
seems like an odd choice.
Serum Vision's,
So one of the great ways to get around kind of the lock that you can set up with Lantern is to draw multiple spells. And just kind of overwhelm.
So Victor's going to keep the negate. Codex Shredder is another card that lets you tap it in order to mill a card from target player's library.
All right, so we've named Nahiri with the Pithing Needle. That's a pretty solid choice. I don't know that it's actually a hit in Victor's deck, but it's probably a bit stronger than just naming a random fetch land.
I would...
Although, man, if he named Flooded Strand, he would have nailed him.
Would have gone the whole way. Victor's showing 2 Flooded Strands in his hand.
That's one of the things I really like about that new artifact.
Yeah?
Where you get to look at their hand and then name it.
Oh, is this like like an upgraded Pithing Needle?
Yeah, I mean, it costs 2,
Which
is a huge downgrade.
This isn't the Crook, is it?
By hook or by crook? No, the crook is a Relic of Progenitus downgrade.
Yeah, that card costs so much. It ties up mana forever. I don't think that card's ever going to see any standard play.
So our wonderful spotter out there has informed us that Nahiri is a hit, and that Victor is playing the Emrakul game.
All right, well, that makes a huge difference here. Is if Eddie's going to mill Victor out, then
he has to catch Victor with Emrakul in hand.
Correct.
And there's the Nahiri.
Eddie feels like $1 million right now. That new artifact is a Ghoul Caller's Bell. This is yet a third artifact that lets you mill the top card of... I believe that one is both players' libraries. They all do slightly different things.
I think he's just missing the Pixis for the full Monty here.
Yeah, so Ghoul Caller's Bell is each player. Card was the jam in original Innistrad limited play.
I think you and I have different definitions of the jam then.
Noted.
It was a one-mana artifact that I was only slightly embarrassed to play.
I played that card in all my blue-black decks. Loved it. And we've found Eddie's out to the Emrakul plan. He has 2 copies of Surgical Extraction.
Yeah, Surgical Extraction is very solid.
So what you do there is you let the Emrakul hit the bin, and you let the trigger go on the stack, and then you target the Emrakul with Surgical Extraction. This gets you out of... They're still going to reshuffle.
Right.
But you can then win the game by milling them again.
The old double mill.
Alright, Snapcaster Mage coming off the top. Alright, so he's going to spend the first Surgical Extraction on a Serum Visions.
So that's solid if you really wants him to shuffle away this Spell Snare.
Mm-hmm.
Which could very well be the case here.
Yeah, so another plan Victor could be on is he could theoretically burn Eddie out of this game. We're looking at 7 removal or 7 burn spells in hand.
Yeah, so Eddie has some cards in his deck that can prevent that from happening. Most notably the Chalice.
Oh, Chalice of the Void's a big card here?
Yeah, Chalice of the Void's a big one.
I think that's interesting because, you know, if he's going to lean on Chalice for one, Chalice for one also really, really messes with him too.
Yeah, he doesn't want a Chalice on one, for sure, unless it really comes down to it.
Alright. Yep, Inquisition's going to take the Lightning Bolt.
No, just straight up extracting Lightning Bolt.
So Eddie has looked through the deck, he's seen the Emrakul, and he's burnt the second Surgical Extraction on Lightning Bolt. That is, that's aggressive. He knows the Emrakul's coming.
Yeah, so he knows the Emrakul's coming, but he does have Nihiri unlocked, so he doesn't have to worry about that aspect of Emrakul.
Right.
And because of the nature of his mill, he can just let Victor draw the Emrakul. Like, that's not a big deal.
Okay.
So there's very little danger of Victor hitting 15 land and casting an Emrakul. I don't know if he has 15 lands that produce mana in his deck.
Oh gosh, there it is. There's
the Emrakul.
There's a...
You can have it.
Lady Emrakul herself. Yep, and he's identified that's the only way he wins. Just said it aloud. I think it just doesn't matter. I think you just get him every time, right?
There's a way to avoid a burn death.
Sure.
So Empty Hand Bridge is going to shut off these Snapcaster Beats.
Yeah, I think it just doesn't matter anymore. I think you literally just mill the maximum amount of cards every turn, right? Try and end the game as fast as possible.
Yes and no. You can't let him have the engineered explosives. Everything else is fair game.
He's choosing one a turn.
So, Ygraph, we could get another match on stream, but we got this for you because we really value your viewing experience here.
Yeah, this is going to let us talk about a lot of different things.
Yeah, like lanterns and
shredders?
Yeah, and shredders.
Have you ever shredded a codex of any kind? Any kind of manuscript, codex, anything like that?
I mean, I've shredded a lot of documents.
Really? Is that part of something you've done?
Yeah, so I used to do it in my previous role for my current company. It was like a daily thing. Like we had a burn bin, which was really just a shredder bin.
Nice.
Where I would just shred all kinds of documents, and then I'd have to like carry these huge bags of shredded documents out to the recycling bin.
Noted.
Mm-hmm.
I always wonder why they never filled like a child's playpen with those. I'm sure if you got like 4 or 5 feet deep, you could do like a jump from like 10 or 15 feet and like land on it, and it would be fairly...
Have you ever dug through like shredded paper?
No.
It's sharp.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you get paper cuts all the time by digging through it.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's...
Is this to deter people from trying to put it back together? Like,
No, I think it's just a byproduct of cutting paper.
like, do you remember the Penguin in the Batman movies?
Yes. He needed a paper cut.
I don't think crazy people care about paper cuts. It's one of those things. They're like, yeah, I'm crazy. This is fine. Man, I never considered Inventor's Fair this deck. That's a big ad from the last block.
Yeah, even just getting the land is huge.
All right.
So Victor's drawn 2 Snapcaster Mages.
Okay.
So that could potentially be a big deal. Why is he shredding himself? He doesn't want that Snapcaster to come down.
Alright, here's Abrupt Decay.
So Tarma Twin feels personally that people playing Lantern are just players that don't know how to play Magic. And then he apologized.
So he made a statement that apologized for it?
Yes.
That's okay. Well, is he apologizing because he thinks he's wrong?
No, I think he's apologizing because he doesn't want to offend.
I think
I think we know my opinion on this matter. But let's hear yours.
On Lantern players?
No, on apologizing and offending people.
I'm one of your good friends. I'm 1,000% sure you've offended me, and I can never remember you apologizing to me for anything.
I have never apologized for offending someone. It's just so disingenuous. Like, if I was really sorry, I wouldn't have said it. Like,
absolutely.
It just doesn't. Things don't just come out of my mouth. Like, I think about them.
They don't?
No. I think long and hard before everything I say.
I'll remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I think you gotta take a stand about these kind of things. Like, if you think that this is... He certainly understands the framework of the game Magic the Gathering.
Correct.
And he's certainly making decisions inside the game Magic the Gathering. And so I think that he knows how to play Magic the Gathering.
So
now, if you want to play a game of Magic where attacking and blocking and everything is like really, really important, just go play Standard. I imagine it, since this Marvel ban, it's going to be super combat oriented.
Oh yeah, I think Standard's in a great place right now. But
the only thing that could bring me in is if Prepare to Fight becomes like a premium Standard card. Like, I love that card. I think that card's so cool.
I have no idea why, but
neither do I. But like, it just seems like, oh man, can you imagine the blowout of preparing a creature and like block? Like, I'll prepare my Ronus. Like,
why do you need to prepare? Why don't you just swing with your Ronus?
I did swing with my Ronus, but he attacked back with his whatever Oketra. I'm like, all right, I'm going to prepare my Ronus, block your Oketra, gain a bunch of life, untap, fight.
It's just, like, if you have an active Ronus, it seems like overkill. And Oketra's garbage. I don't know why anyone would play Oketra.
I
get it. You don't know what you're talking about. That's fine.
The other thing in Standard that I'm really looking forward to are these cycle lands.
We've already got cycle lands, but before we get into that...
the deserts?
Yeah, before we get into the desert. Before we...
I was just moving on. I mean,
wander through the desert on a horse with no name. I want to talk about this lantern deck real quick.
Can we build a desert deck and just call it a horse with no name?
No, we can't. Okay. I want to set the record straight here.
Set it straight.
Lantern players have to have a very strong idea of how to play every deck in the metagame, because for the first several turns, knowing exactly what cards to play around and what cards to like mill off the top of their library if they have a lantern out is very important, and it can very easily make or break the game. Obviously, this point in the game is extremely autopilot. Like, there's very little that Victor could do here that will unsettle.
Does he have a Collector Brutality in his graveyard?
Yeah.
Man, this deck plays a lot of neat ones. I had no idea that card was in this deck. I knew about Abrupt Decay. I did not know about Collector Brutality, and Victor's going to scoop him up here.
Scooping him up. So, Ensnaring Bridge doesn't do a lot against every deck in the format. If you're playing stuff like Tarmogoyf and Death Shadow, it does.
Yeah, I'll bet you this deck's very good against the Death Shadow decks. So, like, it's probably bad against... Okay, so not bad. It's probably worse against traditional Jund, where they have more Abrupt Decay, Maelstrom Pulse style removal, but very good against the Death Shadow decks, where they're more on, like, Fatal Push Terminate style removal. Not that the original Jund decks don't have those, but they have additional...
Right. So, targeted discard does a lot against Lantern. So if you can get in a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition before they can Thoughtseize or Inquisition it out of your hand, that's a big deal. And then if you're running any counter magic, if you're playing a Death Shadow deck, literally the only card you have to worry about is Ensnaring Bridge.
Alright.
So I don't think it's amazing. I mean, it's good. It might be better than average. But yeah, I don't know. Not very well versed in the Lantern v Death Shadow matchup.
I'll be completely honest, John. I am not bringing a Lantern deck to our modern playtesting sessions.
That's good because I've already got one proxied up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we're gonna playtest some Lantern.
You're a maniac.
Adam Prozac would actually punch me in the face if I did that.
That's not the only reason Adam Prozac would want to punch you in the face.
I remember one time we were testing Standard for, I forget the format. I think it was right when Theros came out. It was me, him, and Lauren Nolan. We were just like taking turns, switching off decks and like playing matches and just like recording. And I don't know, I ended up on like this super grindy Jund deck that was playing like the Death Bridge chant.
Yeah, I remember that deck.
Yeah, deck was sweet. But like I had to think about like some decision and was like going over in my head and like doing math. And he was getting so frustrated that I didn't just snap it off. Like obviously it was something he would just snap off, but I was just like, I have to think about this, sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna bring a Lantern next time and we'll think about everything. It'll be great.
Yeah, I'm tipping my hat to Eddie here for finishing game 1 in 19 minutes.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, like, Victor could have scooped much earlier.
Right.
I think these sideboard games are going to be much more interesting, though. I'm sure Victor's going to bring in a lot more counter magic. Likely also has Stony Silence.
Oh, jeez, gosh, Stony Silence is probably a total blowout for this deck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's something that Eddie anticipates coming in. And he already has Abrupt Decay, so... So let's see how good these sideboards are.
Alright, so Victor's going to be on the play.
I think Eddie would also benefit here by bringing in Rest in Peace, if he has that available.
Sure.
Takes off one aspect of his deck, which is the Academy Runes.
Wow, this is a big card, I think.
I like how we went like the full range of extreme there. Just like, wow, this is a big card, I think. So it does stop a couple of Eddie's mill effects, but it doesn't stop Eddie from just getting the lock. And as you can see, he's got a Seal of Primordium in hand.
Holy smokes.
Oh, man.
Dude, that's the thing I love about these Lantern decks is they're so diverse. I mean, I've seen like 6 different cards that I think are so much fun to play.
Yeah.
Eddie finds a land.
Does go into his hand.
Is it in play? I think it's in his hand, yeah.
Definitely don't get to cheat that one into play.
That'd be a big game.
I think he's just keeping it face up because nope. Alright, now it's back in hand. So tell me again about these deserts that you're excited about.
Okay, so in Amonkhet we had deserts that just had effects. Like one of them pinged a player when it came into play, one of them made a zombie.
Sure.
I forget, one of them gave a sacrifice to give a creature a +1/+1 or a -1 counter. The deserts in Hour of Devastation are lands that produce, there's one for each color.
Yeah.
And they cycle on one and a color. So we've had ones that cycle on just the color, which were just insane. Those were very, very good.
Yes.
And then we've had ones that produce, one for each color that cycle for 2. These are a little bit of a hybrid of both. They're a little bit harder to cycle. But I think with the power level of Standard now, I think these cards are super duper good.
So, why would I play these if I could just play the duels.
You'll play them both.
Will I?
Yeah.
That is a bold statement.
Okay, I don't know what you'll do.
So
Players will play them both.
My current standard deck has like 20
cycling lands.
Not 20. It has
a lot. You need some basics to make the
16.
combo go off, right?
Yeah, so I run 7 basics. I run 5, 6, 7, 8 basics on 23 lands. So I run 15 cycling lands.
Okay.
So telling me that I will run both is a bit extreme.
Okay.
Now, I will say there is a desert in there that I do like quite a bit, and it does not produce colored mana.
Going into my spoiler here.
Read that one off for me.
Well, the one I had was in Spanish, so give me a second. Scavenger Grounds.
Oh, I was hoping you would read it in Spanish.
Oh. Terros de los Coroneros. Terra de Deserto. Agra colorless. Tu Torva de Mana. I can't. Tu Reserva de Mana, I'm sorry. It was far away, I've specialized.
Alright, so we've got Young Peasy coming in. And
this is a card.
This could get out of hand very quickly if Eddie doesn't find a bridge and empty this hand.
So this land lets you tap and sacrifice a desert. Doesn't have to be it specifically. Any desert will do. And exile all cards from all graveyards. Really, really lets you clean up those Delirium decks that are only going to be around for 3 more months. I hope this is part of... I mean... I'm not like a huge fan of like printing the answer cards so late in a format. Like I would have loved for a card like this to be in the Delirium format. Not a basic land, not a land that like anybody could play, like this colorless land you can just jam it into any deck. But I would have loved for like 1 or 2 colors to be like, okay, we're like the grave robber colors that we can like, you know, clean up.
Sure.
Clean up graveyards and keep people off of Delirium. Because I thought the Delirium deck was super powerful and super fun to play.
I definitely agree.
But it was just way overpowered.
This is going to be a very interesting series of turns here.
Okay, so we've got a Pixis of Pandemonium.
Eddie has 3 lands in hand, which is atrocious, but he does have the bridge.
Okay.
So here's the interesting aspect. I don't know if Victor will need this because he's swinging for 5 now. He needs to turn off these 2/1s desperately. Victor can target Eddie with this Ancestral to get an attack in.
Okay.
Another bridge for Eddie. Going whiteboarded with this one.
See, I would start casting these bridges.
Right, he couldn't last turn. He opted instead for the Pixis, which is very relevant. And so next turn he'll get to Ensnaring Bridge again. And barring drawing another Ensnaring Bridge or a land, he'll have effectively shut off this Snapcaster and Young Pyromancer.
Well, no, so he'll draw a card going to 4 cards and then play Land Bridge, being at 2 cards.
Right, but then he has 2 extra mana that can cast literally any other thing in his deck other than another land or a bridge.
Maybe a Jun Charm.
I don't think he's running Jun Charm in his Abzan deck, but anything is possible. Not possible to cast, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a deck that has a Ancient Ruins in it, so it's not like totally Abzan.
Sure. Not totally Abzan. Victor making sure that Eddie's not going to be gaining land. Oh, he gets to search for basic. That's actually pretty good for Eddie. Thins out his deck a little bit. Assuming he has a basic define.
Swamp here. Might be in his hand. Does he have a basic defined?
He has a swamp in hand. It doesn't look like he has a basic in his deck. That was not good for him.
Ooh.
So now he desperately wants to draw 1-mana artifact, of which there are many in this deck. Don't get me wrong.
Man, we're going to take this to game 3?
It's very possible. Eddie needs a very specific draw here. Oh, it's a land. That'll do it.
Well, did Victor not attack last turn?
He did. His guys are tapped. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Eddie with 2 lands in hand. No way to dump those. This is where Collective Brutality would have been great.
Alright. So Victor should snap Bolt here.
Yeah, Snap Bolt kills him. Kills Eddie.
Right. And he's just going to choose not to. Alright.
So he can Snap Bolt basically any time.
I'm just in Snap Bolt produces 2 extra attackers for 3 more damage.
Right, so he's going to swing in for 6 here. So Victor misses the Snap Bolt for the kill this turn. I don't know what his game plan is here. He does still have the play of Ancestral Visions target Eddie. If Eddie does manage to get these Ensnaring Bridges activated. What would actually be amazing for Eddie to top deck here is a Collective Brutality.
Yes, concur.
All of those modes are going to be potentially relevant.
Alright.
So we're Snap Serum Visions. Victor's a big fan of drawing cards and looking at the top 2 cards of his library. He has a Bolt in hand, apparently.
Alright.
Which would have made Bolt, Snap, Bolt lethal here.
Absolutely.
So, not sure what he's doing.
We'll figure it out. Here's a Stony Silence. And a go.
Didn't attack.
More land for Eddie. That's very unfortunate.
Eddie drew another land. Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, Victor could have been attacking into these Ensnaring Bridges the whole time. I don't know if he's trying to one-shot him or what.
Maybe he doesn't know what bridge does.
Yeah, alright. So Eddie's actually gonna, if he remembers his trigger. Oh, I guess we're rid of the Inventor's Fair. The Inventor's Fair would have been huge here because he gets to like tick up a little life every turn. Test this out. See, sorry about that, guys. A little bit of, there we go.
Yeah, Inventor's Fair would have been a big deal here because, like you said, he gets to gain a little bit of life. But if Victor's not going to attack anyway, then, oh my god, what is Victor doing?
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if he was just completely illiterate. No, it would surprise me. Victor's literate. I'm just.
No, he's literate. All right, so we got a Leyline of Sanctity coming up. Man.
Just Eddie can. I mean, Eddie has.
He needs another mana source to be able to cast this.
He has Abrupt Decay available to him.
So he has. He definitely has the ability to play through this. If he can get this Ancestral, or I'm sorry, if he can get this Leyline to resolve, he's in great shape. Another Study Silence.
And Victor's on 2 Surgical Extraction in hand now.
I don't know that there's any good targets for Surgical here.
And we should be seeing the top of both decks at this point. We have the Lantern in play.
Yeah, I think he just hasn't floated back over.
We don't see Eddie's deck either, so...
Yeah, Eddie's deck is this Leyline of Sanctity.
Oh, is that the deck? Okay, the blue pile I'm looking at is the
Pixis pile.
The Pixis pile, sure. Okay, Leyline of Sanctity matters there.
Yeah, Leyline of Sanctity would be great if he could resolve it, but he can't cast it.
Right.
Pandeo, I agree. He's saying the first rule of playing Control in Modern is to read the cards and don't misplay. You are not well positioned for it.
You concur.
I think that's important in every format you want to play Control. I get so frustrated with Standard players playing Control poorly. Seal of Primordium is the target, it looks like. There is a second seal. With any misplay, there's going to be some detriment or some punish. I mean, otherwise it wouldn't be a misplay. It's obviously not as big as when you're playing a Control deck, though.
Right. Yeah, I'm just completely confused as to what.
He just attacked for 5, so I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
So he knows that the cards. Okay, so now Eddie's hand is empty.
All right, so we're negating the Pithing Needle now. Okay.
I'm confused as to what's going to go on here.
Only Control players used to say that Control players are good. Most Control players are just atrocious.
Alright, so
Victor's got, I think, a Bolt in hand and a Bolt on top of his library. Pithing Needle on top. I don't know what this does for Eddie, but all right. So there you go.
All right, here we go. Game 3. Victor wanted to Victor wanted to play all the possible turns of that game.
I guess. I don't know. He could have definitely ended it several turns earlier and chose not to. I don't understand why.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Magic's a tough game. Sometimes the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing.
I feel like that doesn't really apply here, but you know what? I'll let you have it.
You know, all right. What a benevolent overlord you are. All right. So, are you going to be playing Standard in this marvelous metagame that we have coming up?
I'm going to play Standard on Wednesday.
Like tomorrow?
Potentially.
Okay.
I'm either going to play Standard tomorrow or Modern on Thursday. One of those two.
Okay, cool. I have to look at my work schedule, but I'm definitely free tomorrow. I'm trying not to play Standard, but I might come hang out.
Trying not to play Standard?
Correct.
You just hate life. You don't like playing Magic. You don't like hanging out with your friends.
I want to play Smuggler's Copter really bad.
Well, you can't.
I know.
Ever.
Listen, here's the thing.
You can never play that card in Standard again.
That card is super fun. It's very powerful, I agree. But it's not good enough for Modern. And it's just too good for Standard. And it frustrates me because it's like this peek at this card that, like, is so cool. But it just doesn't have a home. I want it to go to its home.
I don't think it's particularly cool.
You don't think that card's cool?
No.
You've attacked with a Smuggler's Copter before. You felt real good about it.
I've probably attacked with a Smuggler's Copter more than you have.
No way. Did you just play more Standard than I did at the time?
Yeah, I played a ton more Standard than you did.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Alright. You did go on that 4-week run where you won F&M with a different deck 4 weeks in a row. That was a pretty sick, That was a good time to be John Douglas.
Yeah, it was.
I think it yielded you an underground seat, right, in store credit?
It did. It was a great time.
Alright. So Eddie's on the play here. He knows what he's up against. He's seen almost 100% of Victor's deck.
He has seen 100% of Victor's deck.
And so, mulligan decision should be fairly straightforward.
It looks like Victor's keeping this one. Yeah, so Smuggler's Copter, it sees a little bit of play in sideboards in Modern. Like, you'll see it as a one-of every once in a while in, like, an odd affinity list. Problem is, with, like, affinity now, with, like, the spotlight solely on it after this Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Not a good time to be playing affinity.
No, I'm going to, I have a Affinity deck, you know, in sleeves. It's got its own little deck box. I had a sideboard I carefully crafted. And I'm going to shift gears on it for a little bit.
So, prior to last weekend...
It was a great choice.
Yes. I don't know if it was you or if it was somebody else. But I was telling somebody else that I think the best card in Modern for that weekend was Affinity. And boom. Don't mean to toot my own horn.
No, I think.
But
no, I think reading metagames is one of your skillier skills.
We have a double ley line of Sanctity. How do you feel about this one?
It's this is one of the cards that Lantern does not want to run into.
I don't think it's that backbreaking.
This is the thing I don't understand. So Lantern's playing natural, what's it called? Not natural state, Nature's Claim. And I personally play some number of Ray of Revelation in my Affinity sideboard.
Right.
And I feel like Ray of Revelation would like be very good here. I mean, it does the same thing as Nature's Claim. It is a different mana cost, so like you're not as prone to getting chaliced out of the game.
Sure.
I guess Nature's Claim also catches an artifact, but you've got Abrupt Decays too. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think catching an artifact is the main mode of Nature's Claim.
Okay. Alright, the stirrings from way back when.
This is an interesting choice. So I don't know that he has the third artifact to turn on the Opal. I wonder how important that Glimmer Void on the bottom is going to be now.
Yeah, see, this is why I really...
Thoughtseize is a very strong draw here.
Well, he can't cast it.
He's got a Blooming Marsh.
Yeah, but his opponent has 2 Leyline of Sanctities.
I agree. So less good. Significantly there. So what is Eddie naming with this Pithing Needle? My guess is just Nahiri, but...
See, this is why I like cards like Ancient Stirrings. So, like, Ancient Stirrings gets better the better you are. And so in Modern, that card's, you know, perfectly acceptable because you get to, you know, leverage play skill. I think they should print more cards like that. Where, like...
Why? So they can ban them?
No, so, like, okay. For example, Aetherworks Marvel, you're never going to pick the wrong card. Like, it's
Ancient Stirrings is not a card like Aetherworks Marvel. Ancient Stirrings is a green ponder.
It's a restricted ponder. It has a deck building restriction on it.
Oh, I understand. It's not as good as ponder. I'm saying it's a cantrip with selection, like ponder.
Yeah.
So there's a definite ceiling to how powerful those effects can be.
Uh-huh.
Inquisitions himself to pitch the Thoughtseize.
This is a heads-up play because it reduces the number of cards in his hand. It's going to let his Ensnaring Bridge be better.
Yeah, and he is definitely not under any type of clock, although that has just changed as Ambush Viper has joined the fray.
Hey, listen, he's going to draw a card and scry 2.
Oh, man. Tarma Twin says he saw a copter played with young Pyromancer and the Elementals got to crew it. I know you love yourself some young Peasies as well.
Yeah, see, that's one of those decks. I've never played a young Peasy deck. I just started playing my first Snapcaster Mage deck. Since Standard. I played that card in Standard.
Right, I was going to say, you definitely played it in Standard.
But yeah, I've never played a young Peasy deck. I should have phoned my friend Lucas Brueggemann. He knows all about the young Peasies. Bridge, and here's the Snap Logic Knot. So the Leyline of Sanctities aren't the end of the world because he's got cards that don't target, like it says every player mills a card.
Each player.
And so...
You know what I'd really like to see out of a Lantern deck sideboard? Is if you see all this crazy hate in Game 1...
Like a Tranquility?
I want to bring in a Metalwork Colossus.
Oh, man.
Just start attacking players.
That would be a big game.
Yeah, the problem is you can't attack through your own bridge, but if you've got a bridge, you're probably winning anyway. And if you mill the Metalwork Colossus, you can sacrifice the bridge.
Yeah, sure.
Alright. Ensnaring Bridge is getting Surgical Extraction.
Yeah, and that's going to spell the end for Eddie here.
Yeah, he doesn't have any other way to slow or stop this clock.
The question is Victor going to be able to play at a fast enough pace to kill Eddie in 4 minutes? I'm being dead serious.
Yeah, like, this is entirely possible.
This is an actual concern.
He only has to attack Eddie 3 more times. 4 more times, maybe. I don't know if that attack put him at 14 or that attack put him at 10.
Alright, here's the...
Alright, so we've killed the Stony Silence.
Yep, kills the Stony Silence. Yeah,
Victor
this is
attacks for 4. Victor versus the clock here. Eddie down to 10.
Eddie's got.
Graph Digger's Cage is an interesting one. Why not?
Alright, so Victor needs a snap and a lightning bolt here. He's got electrolyze that helps him out. It shortens the clock by a turn.
4. Takes Eddie down to 6.
You want to play your colonnade here and pass the turn, Vic. Alright, passes. I think we're going to end a turn electrolyze here.
Lantern. Definitely let him draw the mountain. Let's see if Victor sees the path to victory here of attacking. Oh,
Yeah,
Eddie's
not even going to put him to the test.
Yeah, Eddie's not even going to force him to win the game.
Well,
that was a game.
Yeah, that was a
that
match.
Was 3 games of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, that was a match there. And whether or not you want to call Lantern a Magic the Gathering deck or not, that was 3 games of Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
It being the end of a round, I have to pee again, so we're going to wrap this one up quick.
Yeah, we'll be back here at probably about 5 minutes.
Yeah, just sit tight.